Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload is going to be a video about a series of storms that will be coming across the United States in the next 10 days. And there will be, I think, 3 in total, but obviously there's going to be a lot of unrelated events with these storms. You know, some rain showers, thunderstorms that are going to be just isolated. So, it's just because there's going to be 3 storms doesn't mean it's only going to be, I guess, secluded. The rain is going to be isolated to the areas where the storms are. It's going to be more complicated than that, but I'll give you a brief rundown of the long range, what to expect, the temperatures, and anything else I could fit in around a 10-minute video. So, guys, if you'd like to subscribe to this channel, I do all sorts of weather-related stuff, weather-related content. Long range forecasts like I'm doing today, winter outlooks. I'll be actually releasing that soon, my winter outlook. It's getting towards that time of the year soon, so I'll be releasing that very promptly. So subscribe if you'd like to see that. Otherwise, if you're a returning fan, consider subscribing or liking the video. That helps out a lot. So we're looking at Pivotal Weather. It's a great website. If you want to see this, it has the European model and it's for free. You don't have to pay anything. It's just they're available and has many features. Pivotalweather.com, and I've always used this. I've used this ever since, probably as much as Tropical Tidbits. So very good website. Go check it out. Notice we have a storm right now actually occurring across, it's centered across really Quebec, western Quebec, western Ontario. You can see right there. And this one is moving pretty slowly, but it definitely is making its way across the making a way across southern Canada. But while it's doing that, yeah, you see it has a cold front, and tonight it could actually be dangerous. We could actually see some thunderstorms popping up across in like a linear fashion, which could produce some wind damage. Tornadoes, maybe not too much, too awfully great. It's probably just the wind damage that's gonna be really severe and really a problem. Tornadoes are definitely still a possibility. And notice that it moves down pretty far to the south. You can see it goes out into central Illinois, Missouri, while the storm center is up here. So yeah, rain showers and thunderstorms across Ontario, and then once it moves off into the northeast, really not that much action. You could see a little bit of thunderstorms late Sunday into early Monday. That's really nothing too significant. Notice we have some just pop-up thunderstorms, and this was what I was talking about. Just some thunderstorms that aren't really associated with this first storm or the one that's forming out of this. You can see that out of those thunderstorms, a storm does occur, but it really, I don't know if you want to really call it even a storm. It's so disorganized. It's just these basically a more organized band of showers that's just going to be coming across the United States into Tuesday and Wednesday, and you can see that they occur over a generous amount of area. And again, if you do get under one of the thunderstorms or showers, it will be some heavy rain as the atmosphere is just absolutely pumped with moisture. And you can see that it moves off into the northeast and really just some scattered pop-up daytime heating thunderstorms. And then our bigger threat comes out Thursday. You can see Thursday into the daytime, and we see some pretty large clusters of storm possibly developing across the Dakotas. These are definitely more significant than what we'll see with this storm. Though again, just because this isn't a large storm, the thunder showers under these, if you get under one of these things, it's gonna feel like a full-on thunderstorm. These storms are probably at their peak of intensity. It's July, it's very hot, and all the ingredients are there. Maybe not for tornadoes or supercells, but especially for heavy rain and wind. And really, heavy rain is probably a bigger threat than tornadoes this time of the year, because tornadoes, the environment isn't really there on July. It usually starts decreasing a bit. And also, the rain occurs over a widespread area, and it affects more people, if you will. If it's a large tornado, yeah, but it takes a lot more to get a large tornado than a widespread flooding event. So again, don't underestimate tornadoes or any kind of severe weather. I'm just pointing out some things at this time of the year that are specific to this time of the year. And notice that we see this storm across really into Alberta. Now it's moving into Saskatchewan. And you can see that there's a big cluster that develops right here across Minnesota and North Dakota and South Dakota. This is now into Thursday of this week. So yeah, it's still a little bit ways out, but it definitely could change. But it seems like there has been some good consistency. Notice that it's almost like if this band that's coming across from this, that kind of propagates itself from this original, parent low pressure, becomes a low pressure by itself. And you can see it moves quite a bit of widespread air precip across the UP of Michigan, Michigan itself, Wisconsin, and into portions of southern Canada, Toronto, all the larger metropolitan areas across these areas. I don't really know the major cities here. I know Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa. I think it's a little bit further to the east. But definitely they could get into some rain as well, and you can see that delivers quite a, it's pretty relatively organized. A lot of precipitation in terms of the widespread amount, covers a lot of square miles, and it's gonna be more widespread than what we've seen in a while. So notice that passes through, and then we just constantly see these little storms popping up, really unassociated with much. But usually it's, we could see another storm or two popping up if, another low pressure. Usually if there's a large increase of thunderstorms, then we could see a low pressure come up. But again, it's a summertime, so in order to see thunderstorms, you really don't need a storm system. You just need a little bit of disturbance. In this case, we will see one big storm, which is going on right now, and then we see showers really with this weak low pressure across Wednesday into Thursday, and very scattered. And then we see again this stronger low pressure by Saturday into Sunday. So really three low pressures that we're looking at, and then further out, that's a little bit too far out, and you can see nothing major is organized, so nothing really too concerning. If we were to look at the GFS, the model run just came in, the 18Z model run, so the afternoon one. And let's just take this through. This is actually my first time seeing this, because I just saw the 12Z model run, but this one just came in. I'm expecting a bit more activity with the GFS than with what the European has. Notice that we see quite a bit of activity from the first storm, which is going on right now. It's a pretty good agreement with what the European is showing. It shows this system, however, the Tuesday, Wednesday one, a bit stronger than what the European does. Again, I wouldn't really call it a strong storm system. Really not even much of a system. Notice that it just brings unorganized clusters and showers. Pretty good agreement with the European on this cluster right here in Minnesota, Wisconsin. Remember that one that propagates off this low pressure right here. And we see that move through. Again, the GFS doesn't really take that into a low pressure that's strong like the European does across the Northeast. It just kind of dissolves it. And then the GFS is kind of all over the place. You can see some showers, no really big storms. It actually indicates more of a pattern change right here. You can see those lines angling further to the south. That's usually indicative of some cooler air. And I'm pretty sure that would be the case. Yeah, you could see some drastically cooler air across much of the eastern United States if this were to occur. Now, whether or not this will occur, it's tough to tell. The GFS has been throwing out these little signals once in a while of this cooler air. Generally, I would say the next 10 days are just going to be mainly warm. After the storm system that's occurring right now, the Midwest will cool off a little bit into Monday and Tuesday. So if you're watching this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for the Midwest, maybe a bit cooler. But the West, the South stays warm. And it really won't feel drastically cooler. It'll be more comfortable, if you will, and it won't be nothing too noticeable. But you could see that it does maintain itself across the Midwest, according to the GFS, through Thursday. That's not agreeing with what the other models are showing. The GFS is kind of a cold outlier, if you will. You could see next weekend though, lots of warm air coming in, and then it sticks around for quite a while. You can see there's a little bit of cooler pockets, that's probably with cloud cover or some thunderstorms as they produce a strong outflow, but then we see like a more drastic cool down. You can see right there into August. We'll see how that does. Again, this is very far out, but it's not the first signal we're getting. The GFS has been showing this for some time. In terms of the ensembles, really, they're just not really agreeing with this at all. They're showing some of them agree with the GFS a little bit more, but generally speaking, it looks way more warm than cool in the long term. You can see most nights especially are getting warm, and most days as well. So really, just look forward towards heat and lots of heat. But again, I guess I gotta count in the fact that, the GEFS ensemble, since it's a family of models, it's a bit slower to react to change in modeling or in data than say a single model, because it takes more of them to convert into that into show as something more significant. It would probably take 7 or 8 models to show what the GFS is showing in order to show some cooler temperatures on this graphic. And according to this, not many are showing what the GFS is showing. The European models also really just showing warmer air, nothing much of a cool down other than in the incoming Monday and Tuesday time frame. And you can see that the European definitely brings on the heat a bit quicker than what the GFS does. Again, I would say the European is a bit more reliable now. It looks as if the heat's going to continue. Maybe a bit overdone for sure, and there's probably going to be a few flaws here and there, but it keeps it warm. What I do have to point out is that the European only goes out to 240 hours, while the GFS goes out further. So maybe, the GFS is picking up on something that the European still hasn't got in its range. That's, understandable, but it looks as if the GFS isn't sure what it's showing by itself. And if you're to look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, it may need or the Climate Prediction Center really just has a warm trend across much of the country. You can see it's definitely less confidence than it has been in the past. They were, earlier they were like much higher colors, so I guess they have a little bit lower confidence, but you can see it's generally still a very, very warm pattern trend, and it seems centered across the Midwest, the southern Midwest, if you will, kind of almost into the Ohio Valley. 6 to 10 day outlook, I'm pretty sure it's much of the same thing. Yeah, just higher confidence, a bit cooler across the Southwest. So that's good news for the folks there. And Alaska actually remaining chilly across this whole time frame, so that's interesting to see. But that's typical. There's probably a trough going here, and then more of a ridge across the central part and eastern part of the country, and then dipping back down the ocean. That's how usually patterns work. You can see pockets of below and above. Generally, the above is going to stay towards the north, as that's where a lot of the storms are originating from. And you can see that in an 8 to 14 day outlook, the trend continues, with above average conditions occurring generally across much of the Midwest and the Northeast and Upper Plains. Well, the drier weather stays to the southern plains and Four Corners area. So let's look at the precipitation in terms of the GFS. I just want to show you what it's looking at. Sorry about the squeakiness of this chair. It does squeak quite a bit, and can't really do much about that. See if I can later on get a new chair or something of that sort, as it is a bit annoying. I could understand that. But look at the GFS, 384 hours out. Really nothing too significant. Yeah, July, August isn't really a wet time of the year. Usually it's a bit drier, drier months. And even, it's tough to say whether or not it'll be dry for certain cities, because if a city, say like if Minneapolis gets a thunderstorm, they could get 3 inches in like an hour, and that could bring it up the month to above average. But overall, it looks as if it's going to be, the pockets of drier areas obviously showing up. Texas, I would say the northern U.S. staying mainly on a moisture side, the rainier side, but not awfully wet as well. So that's some good news, kind of keeping that healthy balance. The Southwest and Northwest will also be pretty dry. That's unfortunate, but usually that's what happens in the summer for the Southwest. Northwest could definitely be seeing a bit more rain, and that would definitely not hurt anyone. But unfortunately, doesn't look like that will happen. Total accumulated precipitation for the European model. The European model has a bit of a different coloration, so this may look much more than what the GFS is showing, but it really isn't. You can see the purple-red color is 1 to 2 inches, possibly 3, which on a GFS, yeah, it's pretty much the same what the GFS is showing. The purple is 2 inches, and you can see that the red is 2 inches, so pretty much about the same thing, just definitely a lot more towards the north and into the northeast, a little bit more rain, and then the south is just dry like a rock, excluding the Gulf Coast, literally the extreme Gulf Coast areas, Louisiana, Texas, those areas right by the Gulf of Mexico. But inland, Oklahoma, mainly dry, Arkansas dry, Louisiana, northern Louisiana dry, central Texas staying pretty dry, and much of the west bone dry as well. Notice southern Rockies extending into Mexico. We have quite a bit of rainfall, but really that's lacking as you go further to the north. And into parts of Canada, some nice amounts of precip as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing to this channel, and I'll catch you all guys on the next episode. See ya.